When it rains, it pours. All right, welcome in, guys. Farzin Vasugian here with you on this episode of the Chief Zone podcast. Wow, that was embarrassing. Listen, I did not dismiss the possibility on the podcast, and I told you guys earlier this week, I said there's a chance that the Chiefs could lose this game. Did not expect them to look like that. Oh, this is bad. This is real bad. There is a lot to come away from this loss, a lot to go over here. For those watching live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, appreciate all of you. And for everyone listening on the video version or the archive video version on all those platforms or the audio version on Apple, Spotify, wherever it is you download and listen to a podcast, greatly appreciate all of you guys, especially sticking with us during this time of year when the Chiefs are struggling, and you guys probably have millions of better things to do this time of the year. But boy, this is bad. Stop me if you've heard me say this before. This is real bad. Real bad. Tony says Denver's going to put 50 on us. If you thought today was bad, Christmas is going to be a nightmare. The Chiefs are going to get shellacked. Chris Oladokun is going to have to start against the Broncos defense. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Listen, I don't have an issue with the defense, Billy. I don't have an issue with the defense. You know why you lost by 17 and you surrendered 26 points? Because when you look at time of possession in this game, the Titans dominated 38 minutes to 22 minutes. Yeah, no defense is going to be able to recover from that. Defenses are going to get worn out. When you are dominating time of possession, that is always going to benefit an offense far more than a defense. You know what's crazy? The score was 26-9. The number of first downs in this game, almost the exact same number as the score. 22 first downs to 9. Obviously, I'll let you guys figure out who had 9 first downs and who had 22. By the way, breaking news, as if things are not bad enough on the injury front. It is being reported by Matt Derrick of Chiefs Digest that Gardner Minshew, yes, Gardner Minshew, your QB2, now QB1, or at least we thought QB1 to finish the season. His season has come to an end because of a torn ACL. You want to know one of the big battles going on this season with Kansas City? The offense and the play calling, the offense and the scheme. Now it's the quarterback room and ACLs. It is bad. And listen, this is unfortunate for Gardner Minshew because he had opportunities to start, and now he's a backup, and now you have to wonder, what's Gardner Minshew's future going to look like? Is he going to be able to play in 2026? Does he have to wait all the way for 2027? Is this someone that might even contemplate retiring from football? It is unfortunate. Bring back Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn has been called last minute to do an NFL game. Would he consider coming back to Kansas City last minute? One more game, 2 more games, I guess. This has been rough. This has been a rough year for Kansas City. Listen, I know there's a lot everyone wants to talk about. If you want to talk about this game, this embarrassment from the Chiefs today, you are more than welcome to do so. If you want to talk about the big news that is expected tomorrow, which is the expectation that the Chiefs are going to officially announce a move to Kansas for the 2031 NFL season, you guys are more than welcome to call in about that as well, because that story has picked up some serious steam in the last 72 hours. And if you check the tone from Missouri politicians in the last 72 hours, including Kansas City Mayor Quinton Lucas, who had been very optimistic about the Chiefs staying at Arrowhead Stadium, their statements are basically, hey, it's not over till it's over, but we kind of know it's over type of statements. So it appears the Chiefs are roughly 24 hours away from an official announcement that they are going to move to Kansas. I know that excites some of you, and I know that angers some of you. Some of you kind of fall in the middle of that whole thing there. So I want to hear from you guys on that as well. The link to call in is right there. For those of you on Facebook, YouTube, there it is. I already tweeted it. For those of you on Instagram, I'm going to comment with the link right there. Hopefully you're able to click it. I don't know how it works on Instagram on your guys' end, but there's the link for you guys to call in. All you have to do is click on it, turn on your audio, your video, put in your name, and you will be on hold to call into the podcast, and we will chat it up here. Look, as far as this game right here, I got nothing for you. And here's where I do want to start with Patrick Mahomes. Because I saw some people being facetious saying this is a great case for Patrick Mahomes to be league MVP. And I kind of want to take that a step further for a moment, because there are a lot of people out there who have dismissed all of Patrick Mahomes' accomplishments over the last 7 years. And I know the last couple of years have not been great with this offense, but a lot of people have dismissed Patrick Mahomes because he has Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid as his head coach. Well, when Tyreek Hill left, more people focused on saying that Andy Reid's the reason why Mahomes is so good. Well, if Patrick Mahomes is only good because of Andy Reid, then why in the hell did the Chiefs not score a touchdown? It's been 6 quarters, 1.5 football games since the Chiefs last scored a touchdown. So don't give me this excuse of, oh, the Chiefs had backups. The Chiefs, on 2 occasions, they got close to the end zone, did they not? It happened on Butker's 3rd field goal. Well, correction. The 3rd field goal, not the case. They got close at 1 occasion, goal line. And Tennessee's defense stood strong there. So it's not like they weren't able to move the football, because they were able to with Chris Oladokun, but their drive stalled in their 1 red zone appearance. I believe it was 1 red zone appearance. Let me double check on that. So regardless, whether it was 1 or 2 red zone appearances, for the crowd that always likes to say, yeah, it was 1 red zone appearance, that Patrick Mahomes is only good because he has Andy Reid, well, today certainly did not reflect that. This is a Tennessee team that had not won a home game in their last 11 attempts. They snapped an 11-game home losing streak. They've only won 2 games all year. You want to know who those 2 teams were against? One of them against the Cardinals, the other one against the Browns. This one, I mean, the Chiefs are not good, but when you can beat the team that's gone to the last 3 Super Bowls, even on their down year with a 3rd-string quarterback, I think Tennessee's going to take that. I guarantee you there are a lot of players in that Tennessee locker room that feel pretty damn good about themselves right now, regardless who was the quarterback for that football team today. This is a disaster. Listen, if you told me the Chiefs were going to lose this game, fine. I did not dismiss that possibility, even if you go listen to the podcast earlier this week. But by 17 and no touchdown scored against Tennessee? We're talking about Tennessee here. The Tennessee Titans, where do they rank in total defense? 27th. Where do they rank in points allowed? 28th. This team has allowed 28 points per game, and you stayed in the single digit. And by the way, it gets worse. And I'll tell you why. Because for Kansas City this season, and by the way, there was an error during the halftime live stream. So Kevin Harlan and Trent Green said this was the 5th game this year where the Chiefs have been shut out in the first half. That is incorrect. That this was the 6th time. 6 games this year where the Chiefs were shut out in the first half. And the Chiefs have been shut out in the second half of 2 games this year. Last week and this week. Actually, I apologize. Not shut out. No touchdowns. Let me be clear. No touchdowns. No touchdowns in 8 halves of... In the span of 2 football games, the Chiefs did not score a touchdown. Now, listen, I'm sure you can go through even during the best years of the Mahomes era and take 8 different quarters of football where the Chiefs didn't score a touchdown. Not scoring a touchdown in one quarter is one thing. Going an entire half, not scoring a touchdown, and doing it 8 times this year, 6 of them in the first half. This is why this team is 6-9 right now. This team's awful. I'm seeing people criticize Patrick Mahomes, and rightfully so, for those inaccuracies down the field. And I've been bringing that up all year. Because last year, people were saying, oh, well, it's him and Xavier Worthy not knowing each other too well, not well enough. Worthy's a rookie. They'll figure it out. Well, what about this year? Because he's overthrown Tyquan Thornton many times, Xavier Worthy many times. Today was worse. Xavier Worthy torched 2 defenders, Baker and Hooker. And the ball was not overthrown. It was criminally underthrown. Worthy, who basically had a touchdown on a free play there, Gardner Minshew severely underthrew it. And there you have it. That is basically a perfect metaphor of Kansas City's season. That's what it's been. At one point this year, the Chiefs look like a scary football team. Julian Edelman said it on Fox Sports that he thought the Chiefs were the scariest team in football. And ever since then, the Chiefs have won, one game? And that one game they won was against Indianapolis, a game they probably had no business of winning. They've lost 4 in a row. They're very lucky it's not 7 in a row. They have lost 6 of their last 7. I mean, the only time I can recall a drought this badly was the start of the 2015 season when the Chiefs started week 1 with a win and then lost their next 5 games, started the season 1-5. This is criminally atrocious. And by the way, for a lot of you saying that the Chiefs should fire Andy Reid, listen, if this was any other head coach, you'd see a pink slip for that head coach. I can tell you right now, Andy Reid is not getting fired. 100% not getting fired. Now, we learned this past week, that Matt Nagy is receiving serious interest from the Tennessee Titans. Do you think the Tennessee Titans, the owner of the Tennessee Titans, he's probably thinking to himself, why in the hell is my team interested in that offensive coordinator? There's no way in hell. He heard all that news throughout the week and thought, okay, yeah, let's hire that guy. Yeah, I know it's a business where it's not what you know, it's who you know, but there's no way in hell the nepotism can be strong enough to where the Titans owner is going to allow Matt Nagy to be the head coach of that franchise. Absolutely no way in hell. None. No chance. And by the way, if you guys want to call in, the link is right there. Just click on it, turn on your audio, your video. Lines are wide open right now. I think people are sick and tired of saying the same things over and over again because it's almost like an Andy Reid press conference. Chiefs fans are saying the exact same thing as the coaches and the players right now. And I know Andy Reid is at the podium at the moment. Andy, here's a really glorious quote that I'm sure you're all going to love. Nobody likes losing in the business. Sometimes a good kick in the tail helps you. You've had plenty of big kicks in the tail. You had one 10 months ago in a game called Super Bowl 59. That kick in the tail should have been a wake-up call. That should have been good enough for you. It hasn't. You started 0-2. You've lost 6 of your last 7. This is not good football here. And Andy Reid, he goes from saying we're going to clean shit up to saying a good kick in the tail, that's good for you? It helps? What? I mean, this is bad. the play on the field, the comments after games. Listen, a lot of people keep complaining that this Chiefs team, the players, a lot of them don't want to speak to the media. At this point, I don't even think anyone should speak right now, unless you are Clark Hunt and you are about to announce the future of the stadium. I mean, this is bad. The only reason I even watch these games is because I do the podcast. And listen, even if I didn't do the podcast, I would still watch the game, but I'd probably be out and about doing things, watching on my phone like I am on YouTube TV right here. But I don't want to watch a game like this. I would rather put toothpicks between all of my toenails and kick the wall over and over again than watch that kind of football game. And you know what the worst part is? This is nothing. You thought losing 17 to Tennessee was bad? Guys, wait for Thursday. This is going to be a bad guy. I'm telling you right now, if you and your family like to plan your Christmas around the Chiefs, come up with a different plan, man. You want to watch Home Alone? Watch Home Alone. You want to watch Jingle All the Way? A Christmas Story? What's that one Christmas movie that people debate if it's a Christmas movie or not? Die Hard. You want to watch Die Hard? Go watch that instead. I mean, I have to watch the Christmas night's game because I have to for this, but goodness, this is awful. Can they flex the game out of Christmas? They should. Amazon Prime has to be pissed right now. Jeff Bezos probably lost some money on Christmas for this one. Poor Jeff Bezos. How will he ever survive? Joey says, well, at least we don't have to worry about 7 primetime games next year. Oh, no, I disagree, Joey. They're still going to give Kansas City 6 or 7 primetime games. Because even when the Chiefs are losing like this, it is must-watch TV for a lot of people. Remember when the Chiefs destroyed the Patriots on Monday Night Football 11 years ago? The Chiefs are dying hard. Yeah, that's true. Remember when the Chiefs were they beat the hell out of the Patriots on Monday Night Football? Nobody wants to watch a 41-14 football game, but when it's the New England Patriots on the losing end of things, yeah, everyone's going to want to watch that. Every single person is going to want to watch that. I do agree with your comment, Tom, by the way. Can't say it on air because Uncle Zuck does not like mean comments, but I do agree with that. At halftime, I see there are so many no one's calling in, but people are commenting. People have things to say. At halftime, I went to the store. That game was awful. Good for you, Amber. I'm sure you accomplished more at the store than the Chiefs did on the gridiron today in the second half, or even in the whole game for that matter. I mean, this is a football team, and I know they don't have their starting offensive tackles. I know they were down to their third string quarterback, but you can still run the football. I mean, it's not like the Chiefs should have been held out of the end zone. They found a way to get the football to the red zone at one point. So even on your worst day, with that said, look, in a pass-heavy league, especially when people love to complain that the rules always benefit the offense more than it does the defense, getting shut out, or at least not getting to the end zone in today's NFL is pretty damn hard. Look at Pete Carroll. I know Pete Carroll doesn't have the resume of Andy Reid, but there was a report today from Ian Rappaport that Pete Carroll's job is not safe. And that's a team that just fired Antonio Pierce less than 365 days ago. I'm not advocating for Andy Reid to be fired. Listen, I think Andy Reid has earned the right because of what he's accomplished in his entire tenure in Kansas City. He has earned the right to be given one more chance. This is Andy Reid's first losing season since being the head coach of the Chiefs in 2013. You know how difficult it is to go that long? I mean, it's pretty difficult. So your first time losing 9 or more games under Andy Reid took this long. How many years to be exact? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years. Took 13 years for the Chiefs to have their first losing season under Andy Reid. How long did it take with Marty? I think Marty's first year was a losing. No, it was 8-7-1. Their first losing season under Marty was 1998. And that ended up being his last season, unfortunately. Now, again, I'm not saying the Chiefs should fire Andy, but it took 13 years. And he's got to figure things out. He's not getting fired. I know you guys keep saying it in the comments. It's not happening. Now, Matt Nagy did not sign a contract extension last offseason. He is set to be a free agent, whether he gets hired or not. Well, if he gets hired by the Titans, then he's not a free agent. But if he's not hired by the Titans, he is a free agent offensive coordinator. I mean, if a team like the Titans are not going to hire him, then who will? Come on. All right, let me see what comments we have on Instagram. Mariota or Russell Wilson be a potential veteran pickup. I'd even take Geno Smith. I know you're talking about the offseason. I'm not quite there yet. I mean, we've been talking about the offseason, but for right now, in this exact moment, I think we're ways away from that. Tob WSR says, scared to watch the Chiefs now line up under center, run the ball. You have a rookie running back who has juice. Line him up and run, block, no shot. The Chiefs did not use any of their guys who we've barely seen. I thought for sure we were going to see a lot of Brashard Smith. I thought we were 100% going to see Jalen Royals. I thought we were going to see Nico Remigio on offense. Where was Jeffrey Bossa in this game? He only had one tackle. That was probably a special teams play. I'm sure the numbers will come out, the specific details, the snaps and all of that. But there was nothing in this game to where, you saw any of the future players. None of that. You want to know who your leading receiver was in this game? Isaiah Pacheco, 6 catches, 41 yards. Xavier Worthy had 2 for 41. Same number, same yardage, same receiving yards. The Titans, who are not a very good football team, and you saw it with Cam Ward throwing 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, 21 of 28. His leading receiver was Ayu Manor, had 58 receiving yards. Spears had 53. Okinawa had 44, and then DK had 40. Actually did a good job distributing the football, but this Titans team has not done a good job of that all year long. Tony Pollard rushed for 102 yards. This is the second time since the loss to the Raiders on Christmas the Chiefs have allowed a 100-yard rusher. I think the reason why they didn't take a knee right away is because they wanted Pollard to get that 100 yards. Chris Oladokin checked his phone after the game, and the first text he saw was from Patrick Mahomes. That's nice. Let me see what other comments we are getting from Andy Reid. I mean, you're not really getting too much. A lot of the media is kind of quiet on this. A lot of people are quiet. You guys want to give your score predictions for Christmas? Go ahead. I want to see what you guys have to say. Bring Terry Bradshaw out of retirement the rest of the season. Cole said it with Rivers. Yeah, I mean, what could go wrong with Terry Bradshaw? Was there even any kind of a game plan, or was it just do whatever you want to do? Let Casey Wolf play quarterback. You be surprised. Tennessee's going to hire Blake. They're not going to hire him. There is no way in hell the ownership for the Tennessee Titans is like, yeah, we are going to hire Matt Nagy. Seriously, there will be an investigation by the NFL. It's like, wait a minute. We know nepotism exists, but on what kind of a scale are we talking about? I mean, I'm being facetious, but Tennessee will not hire. Look, you have the number 1 drafted quarterback from last year, number 1 draft pick from last year, Cam Ward. So you don't want to screw that up. Unless your goal is to screw up and you want Matt Nagy to come in and take over as the head coach. Like, you don't want to do that. Yeah, Pierce was elevated to the 53-man roster, but he was inactive today. That made no sense. Made absolutely no sense. You guys are saying 34-3, 42-6, 42-6, 45-6. Hear me out. Cam Newton to fill the gap until Mahomes returns. No, thank you. I mean, I don't know what options you have. Who are free agent quarterbacks right now? Free agent NFL quarterbacks. Cue all the Colin Kaepernick commentary. People who, I'm sure someone's going to suggest that. Who's available right now? That's what I want to know at the quarterback position. According to Spot Track, CJ Beathard, Jeff Driscoll, and Jake Fromm. I remember Jake Fromm. Wasn't he on QB1 on Netflix several years ago? Yeah, those are your available quarterbacks right now. I mean, there have to be more. There's got to be more than just the 3 Spot Track put out there. According to, what is this website? Sharp Football Analysis. I get they update this frequently. So they have Nate Sudfeld, Taylor Heineke, Clayton Tune, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Tim Boyle, Bryce Perkins, Logan Woodside, and Desmond Ridder. I recognize Desmond Ridder and I recognize Taylor Heineke and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I don't know who in the hell any of those guys are. I'd be surprised if all of them had a Wikipedia page. Daniel is hitting leadoff and probably going to be our only caller here on the Chiefs Zone podcast. What's up, Daniel?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, where are you at?
I'm at Disney Springs. I picked a great time to come see. Yeah, I came out with family to come out here.
Okay, you are dedicated. Calling while you're at Disney. Okay, what's up? What's on your mind?
We need a lot more than just defensive tackles and running backs, but it sucks that Gardner Minshew got hurt. I wish he would have did something. This team, we just know the fact that how did Mahomes win 6 games with this team? Because granted, I know the offensive line is hurt, and I know they're banged up, and this wasn't the same offensive line at the beginning of the year, but the receivers are there. Travis Kelce's there. Like, I just don't. And the defense. I mean, I know we're missing Leo Chanel, but it's a glorified preseason game. These last few games, just to see where we are. You know, am I rooting to go into the top 10 pick? I guess. I mean, I'm more wondering how many more draft picks we can get because we only got 1, 2, and so on and so on and so on. So, I agree. All the coaches but Andy Reid need to go. Clean house. I'm even thinking maybe even Dave Tope. Maybe it's time to get rid of him. I know he's a good special teams. He's been there for a while, but maybe it's time just to clean house. Like, get a bunch of people new. Like, I like Mike McDaniel as far as being maybe offensive coordinator just because I think we should need to switch it up. Maybe go with a little play action. Patrick Mahomes under center, 30 carry. Bring the fullback. Like, let's change it up. This shotgun option isn't working. The NFL's caught on. Let's rewrite the game. Go back to history. We need running. Always been told a run game and a defense helps you win. And when you don't have a run game, I know we have Patrick Mahomes, but he needs a running back that's better than an older Hunt and a Pacheco that's injury prone. And I don't know if we can get one out of the draft where we can find some money in the signing it, but. That's just my thoughts. I wanted to call in real quick. I snuck away from the family real quick.
All right, well, we'll get back with your family. Don't get in trouble. Hey, I appreciate the call in though. Merry Christmas to you. And yeah, I mean, listen. And I was thinking about this the other day. Actually, I was driving on 35 highway. I always have some interesting thoughts while on 35 highway, like many of you, I'm sure. And I thought to myself, should the Chiefs consider bringing back the fullback position? I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to think of ideas. Yes, Matt Nagy's got to go. I mean, the offensive scheme has been horrendous. The Chiefs, I mean, they continue to be their numbers are just not the same when Eric Bieniemy was here. Ever since the Chiefs changed offensive coordinators, they've been 15th in points every year, including this year. Obviously, with this game, it's going to be much lower. But total offense, all these things, not even the same as what it was when Bieniemy was the OC. And maybe you don't want Bieniemy back, or maybe you don't think Bieniemy will come back. That's fine. But what's true is Nagy's got to go. So you can't fire him per se unless you want to let him go right now. But if you choose to let him finish the season, then you can't quite fire someone if they're not under contract. You just choose not to retain him, because I just don't see realistically, how can you bring a guy back like him? How can he even get a head coaching job? I know in the middle of the year when the Chiefs offense was looking good, a lot of people thought, okay, Nagy might be a candidate for a head coaching job once again. I don't even know how you can do that. Even before today, there's no way. There's a lot to figure out. The offensive line looked great at one point, middle of the season. The injuries, the unavailabilities, that became an issue. Juwan Taylor continuing to commit penalties. I mean, there are all kinds of issues here, and there's one common denominator, and that common denominator is Matt Nagy. Royal is next on the Chiefs Zone podcast. What's up, Royal?
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I agree with Matt Nagy. He's not doing anything productive. I just don't think. But the biggest point I want to talk about is Brett Veach. I'm looking at our draft picks over the past 3-4 years, and when you actually go through it, you stop and ask yourself, how many of these people are legitimate starters? Of course, we have Josh Simmons. He's a legit starter. Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice. I like those people. But when we start actually digging through it, I think the GM has done a bad job these past 3 years. When I look at Howie Roseman for Philadelphia Eagles, you look about how they draft, and you look at just how well they go through the process of making trades. They're diligent, they're progressive, they're forward thinking, they make sure that they're doing things, far beyond what we thought were possible. And when I look at what the Chiefs are doing as far as our GM Brett Veach, I'm just not seeing that the past 3 years. I know he has a great history when you look at obviously drafting the Travis Kelce and so on and so forth, the Patrick Mahomes, awesome, excellent. We applaud you for that. But the past 3-4 years, I've just not been impressed with what they've been doing. And so I think these past few games have really highlighted the fact that we're lacking and we're not doing a good job. And we put it all on Patrick Mahomes' shoulders. And I think Andy Reid is my dog, but he's getting a little bit old. Not as far as age, I mean as far as being stagnant is what I mean. He's not really showing the same him and the OC, they're not really putting much effort is what it's looking like. So getting some new people in, some fresh people in, and stop being so loyal to these old defensive linemen who can't move anymore, and get some fresh people in there. I think that's what the Chiefs really need.
Okay, I appreciate it, Royal. Those are some good thoughts. Let's look over the last couple of drafts. 2023, they drafted in their own hometown Felix Anudike-Uzomah. That has not gone well at all. Rashee Rice looked like he was growing his rookie year. Last year, not so well. Wanya Morris has been a disaster. Shamari Connor, hard hitter, but not a good cover guy at all. BJ Thompson, Keandre Coburn, they're no longer on the team. Nick Jones, I think, is still around. Last year's draft, I actually liked last year's draft when it happened. Xavier Worthy, Kingsley Suamataia, didn't work at left tackle, has been inconsistent at left guard. Jared Wiley, I know they really, really liked Jared Wiley when they got him, but he hasn't done much. Jaden Hicks has serious potential, but we haven't seen that come to fruition. Kamal Haddon, is Kamal Haddon even still on the team? I don't think he is. Hunter Norzad, CJ Hansen. I like Hunter Norzad. I think he's actually an underrated guard or interior offensive lineman. He's a center, but I think he should be playing some guard. CJ Hansen, he's still on the team. This year's draft, a lot of scouts, analysts in the media had high praise for the Chiefs with this draft. Josh Simmons, I know Royal covered that. Omar Norman-Lott I was excited about, but he dealt with a lot of injuries this year. Ashton Gelati seems like he's your most consistently available rookie this season. Probably going to end up winning that the Mackley Hill Award, which I don't even know is really worth much this year, but I suppose who else are going to give it to? Maybe Josh Simmons, even with the limited amount of playing time? I don't know. The players vote on that, so I'm really curious to see how they vote. Noel Williams has done a lot of good things that don't come up on the stat sheet, but he doesn't get enough playing time. Jalen Royals has only played in 5 games and has not been targeted once this year. That's odd. Jeffrey Bassa has barely played. Brashard Smith, one of the fastest players in this draft class, but we're not seeing anything from him. I know there are a lot of mixed, and I know from Royal's comments there, and I don't know if Royal was advocating for Veach to get fired or not. I don't think he was. But I am seeing the comments right now. Some of you guys are saying that Veach has got to go. I don't quite agree with that. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think Veach should be fired. Now, I will say this. Before the season, I did say Veach is the best GM in football. That's not the case right now. That is not the case right now. And look, I'm still willing to say that I think the offensive coaching scheme this season has not been very good. Hence why we keep complaining about Nagy. But I mean, you have good players on this team. You have very talented players. But you're either not using it, you're not using them, or they're not being used to their full potential. And I don't quite know which way do we lean more on that. It's obviously a mix of both. But if you're putting it on the scale there, which side does it more towards? That I don't know. I'm not sure. Lines are open right now. If you guys want to call in, appreciate those. Daniel and Royal who called in. Yeah, we're getting a lot of mixed comments about Brett Veach. And I think even before that call right there, I was seeing some Veach commentary in the chat. I just feel like it was a waste of $11 million on Hollywood Brown. Felt like we could have gotten more out of Hopkins. I don't disagree. Look, if you asked me, and if you ask me, and hold on, what is Hollywood Brown's age? He is 28 years old. And DeAndre Hopkins is 33. So I have no problems with the Chiefs choosing to bring back Hollywood Brown instead of DeAndre Hopkins, though when I saw Hopkins' contract, I was like, oh, could the Chiefs not have figured out a way? And I know they've been in a tough situation with the cap these last few years, but still, here's my thing. The Chiefs had invested so much in the last year and a half with Mahomes and Hollywood Brown, and the way Hollywood Brown in the 2024 offseason and OTAs, training camp, the way he was just picking things up with Mahomes. And he got injured on the very first preseason snap, and he misses almost the entire regular season. He came back, I think, in week 6, around this time last year. I think it might have been the exact date this time last year, if I remember last year's schedule correctly. But you just look at this offense. They brought back Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy. You know, he missed the first 3 games after colliding with Kelsey. And Rashee Rice came back from a suspension, and you thought, okay, this offense is about to rock and roll. Remember EGE? Everybody got to eat. Rashee Rice has got to eat. Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy. Oh, hey, look, this Tyquan Thornton kid, he's balling out. I see him. He's doing some good things. We got Jalen Royals in the draft. Brashard Smith is fast. Kareem Hunt. Isaiah Pacheco's got good speed. Yeah, everybody. Oh, by the way, we got a future Hall of Fame tight end. Everybody got to eat. No one's eating. They're starving. I mean, I'm just, and by the way, to go back to, because here's the other thing too, and I talked about this, and I did a whole YouTube video on this. It's like 21 minutes or 22 minutes long. Hopkins came into Kansas City. In his very first game with the Chiefs, he lined up offside, which gave you, flashbacks to Kadarius Toney lining up offside. And then Hopkins, by the way, who is Mr. Clutch with his hands, he's all of a sudden, I don't want to call him a drop merchant, but he was dropping passes with the Chiefs. Then he goes to Baltimore this year. He's catching those difficult plays. He's making those difficult receptions. Like, what is going on? You can't convince me it's not coaching. Why is it that a guy like Hopkins, who can catch every damn thing, suddenly could not catch in Kansas City those even the wide open plays? I mean, scheming, deep pass, nothing's working. Nothing. Dominique says mofo's out here starving, doing the opposite of eating. Yeah. I mean, they are begging for food. This is not working. There was so much potential. My whole point is this. Because the investment in the wide receiver room, because what was it? 2 years ago, it was the drops. Last year, the offensive line was bad, plus the injuries. Well, you invest a second-round pick in Rice, a first-round pick in Worthy, traded up to get Worthy. You traded up one spot to get Kingsley Suamataia. You get Josh Simmons. You extended Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. You're already paying a bunch of money to Jawan Taylor. I know doesn't mean much right now because he just could never figure out the penalties, but you invested so much with either money or with your draft picks at the wide receiver room and the offensive line room, and it never came to fruition this year. This was a wasted year with this football team. Part of it, I think, for them not to even use Tyquan Thornton. I know he didn't play today because of a concussion, but I mean, the Chiefs could not even get going with all the hype coming in with the offensive firepower. And listen, the hill I'm willing to die on is if they choose to bring back Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, and Tyquan Thornton, if you bring those four guys back, and I'll even throw Juju in there, I think you've got to move on from Juju and Hollywood. But if the Chiefs chose to bring those guys back, and if Eric Bieniemy is your OC, I think you're balling out next year. I will die on that hill. I don't like to discuss hypothetical scenarios because it doesn't do us no good. But my point is, you have all this talent in your offense. You should have more than 6 wins right now. Way more than 6 wins. Lou is next on the Chiefs Zone podcast. What's up, Lou?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Yeah, pretty wide open, opening. I mean, a lot of exposed players and play calling today, but it's been going on all year and last year too. But I agree with you, Forrest, when you said if we bring Eric B back with that speed we have, we should dominate. And that's the problem with we have too much speed, too many good players, but Nagy doesn't know how to play them and put that scheme together. He doesn't know how to put that script together. And sometimes when you have too much talent, too much speed, people don't know what to do with it, right? And that's the case with Nagy. Nagy is just very vanilla, very basic. There's no. I didn't see too many jet sweeps. I haven't seen too many drag routes. I mean, you bring back all those plays. You look back at all the film, all the games when Eric B was calling the game with Tyreek. Why don't we just use the Tyreek plays, right? We have the same speed. We have more speed now. Why are we doing those plays? Why are we calling the same plays we called about 2 or 3 years ago that got us to the championships, to the Super Bowls, right? But just our special teams is horrible. I mean, the play. I mean, every punt return, every kickoff return, half the distance to the goal, guaranteed. And that's what happened today with our safety. Every darn play is half the distance to go. So our special teams is horrible, and our special teams should be every part of the game. That's an important part of the game is special teams. And if we fail on that, we're not going to ever win. Sometimes we need that lift, right? We need that momentum change. We're not getting it. We haven't got it for a number of years. We haven't had a run back or a kickoff return or a punt return in years, right? It's not good, But you bring back Eric B, you keep that speed there because speed does kill, right? Speed does hurt. It does help when you have that. But again, putting that together, putting those script plays together, you can tell when we have a good script at the beginning of the series, at the start of games, because we pop, we hit good, we look good. We look good in the first few drives. Then after that, as the game progresses, the play caller starts getting kind of relaxed and kind of just different, right? And our momentum changes, and we don't have that punch like we used to. So we just got to keep it going. We did get a lot of exposure there with our defense. I think Spags does a good job with the schemes, defensive schemes, and his blitzes. But what he's doing is he's hiding all the efficiencies of our players. our linebackers can't sit and read; they're too slow. So what he's doing is he's sending them to attack the ball, and they're always constantly moving. So it looks like we're doing good, but we're not a sit and read type of defense. Our D backs are not as strong. We have McDuffie that was good, but Connor's slow. I mean, we got a lot of people that just are missing tackles. I mean, we can see that was you can see that today's game, but our defensive line has been struggling for the last 2 or 3 years, putting pressure on the quarterback. Jones has an on and off switch, and he takes plays off, as we all know that. But great player when he turns it up, and but not very consistent. We need consistent playing out there, playing from our players. So we got a lot of work to do. I think it's going to be a long off season. I don't think Pat needs to come back and try to get back right away, because if he's coming back, he's coming back to an offensive line that's not established again, not getting the players. Our defense is not there, so take it. He should take his time, come back 100%. Don't rush. Don't rush don't rush that rehab. Make sure he's 100% at his own speed, and then when he comes back, hopefully we got our role players lined up and ready for him to come back.
All right, appreciate the call, Lou. Some good thoughts there. I do agree. I know everyone's talking about Mahomes and how tough he is, how different he's built, and I agree with all of that. I think at the same time, you got to be careful here. Listen, the injury happened in December, mid-December. There's nothing you can do to change it. What happened has happened. He may miss week 1. He may not. I don't know. I can tell you that a lot of people, Karlaftis is getting traded, not with that. He's got a hefty contract. That is not happening. Yeah, special teams is bad. I know we've gone over it, and I know we don't discuss special teams as much, but yeah, he's right. That did play a big role. Plus, Pole just completely missing. Travis Kelce quickly got in his face, and then you saw it on TV. Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith both telling him, hey, wake the fuck up. Like, everybody was pissed at Esepole, which it sucks when you're that one guy everyone's yelling at. I don't think that's the most fair way to go about it, but I think you had to say something to get everyone going. Didn't work, but geez, I mean, it's been rough. Pat doesn't need to rush it if there isn't a viable running game and a stable offensive line situation. This is the thing that worries me. Like, and I said this a couple of weeks ago. I said, where do you even start with this Chiefs team in terms of the offseason? Because it's not just one or two. Like, this past offseason, what was the biggest position need? Offensive tackle. And what did they do? They got Jalen Moore. They drafted Josh Simmons. They obviously kept Jawan Taylor, but Moore has been on speed dial. And obviously he was used a lot this year. Unfortunately, he's dealing with injuries. Your top 3 offensive tackles, Josh Simmons, Jawan Taylor, Jalen Moore, all are injured. I think they're all on. I don't even know who's on IR anymore. I have no. The list is just so long. I've even stopped caring about that. It has been bad. And by the way, that does free up a line for you guys to call in. The link is right there. Just click on the link, turn on your audio, your video, and let's chat it up. But man, it's just been tough to watch. And I do have to push back against Lou a little bit on one thing. The defense, yeah, I mean, they didn't look great today, but let's go a little deep into it. Why didn't they look good? Because you lost time of possession 38 minutes to 22 minutes. Tell me what defense is going to survive that. I think one of the most underrated stats in football is time of possession. Nobody talks about that enough. When you lose time of possession 38 to 22 minutes, what defense is going to survive that? Your offense only had 9 first downs the entire game. Tennessee had more than double of that. They had 22. And Tennessee's not a great football team. But boy, did they make it look easy. Chiefs were 1 of 9 on third downs. Listen, props to, I know we like to criticize special teams, and one thing we haven't even talked about on this podcast is Harrison Butker missing a field goal. Well, Harrison Butker is the only guy who even kicked field goal or made points for you. I say like there's another kicker on the team, but I mean, him, Matt Araiza, they're the only ones who really did something today. Yeah, you still had special teams blunders, but Nico Remigio had a solid return at one point. It's like special teams suddenly did not suck as much. They sucked a little bit because of the missed field goal, and you still have your penalties on special teams. And also the one big blunder is offside on the field goal make there, extending their drive and giving them a chance to extend their lead. There's so many blunders on this football team. They're not disciplined in so many areas. It's pretty difficult to watch. Eddie says, oh, what's up, Eddie? If nobody hires Nagy, what are the chances Reed goes up there and fires him? Well, we learned a couple of days ago from Ian Rappaport, he's not under contract. He did not sign an extension last offseason, probably with the hopes that he would get a head coaching job. And, technically you're not firing anyone if they're not under contract, but I think you have to just let him go. If he gets hired by Tennessee, great. Congrats and big good luck to Tennessee. But if he doesn't, if Tennessee goes elsewhere, which they probably will, then you let him go somewhere else. You do not have time with the talent you have on this team to bring back Matt Nagy. You just don't. Yeah, I think, and I don't know what the contracts are of the wide receiver coach, offensive. There are other things. They need to re-sign Leo Chenal, no question about it. Yeah, I agree with you. Leo Chenal, who just got placed on IR yesterday, I seriously worry that he might have played his last game with the Chiefs. And I know Trent Green and Kevin Harlan on the broadcast, they talked about a Chiefs free agents and all of that. I'm just telling you right now, they did not have their numbers correct because according to overthecap.com, the Chiefs are $45.9 million, $46 million over the cap. Now, and the nice thing about the Over the Cap website, and I know it may not be 100% accurate, but they do have that calculator you can play with. So if you cut Jawan Taylor, Mike Dana, and you probably need to trade Trent McDuffie because there's no way you can afford what he wants. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a 2026 draft. Let me undo all of that. I got the years mixed up. There we go. You cut Jawan Taylor. You cut... Where's Mike Dana? Should not be too far down on the list. There he is. And then trade Trent McDuffie because, again, he's on a fifth-year option, but he wants a new deal. And I just don't think Kansas City can afford that for 2026 and beyond. There he is. You trade him. The Chiefs go from $46 million over the cap to $3.3 million over the cap. That's a big deficit you get rid of there. You're still over the cap. And I know Trent Green said on the broadcast today, well, they're going to restructure Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones contracts. Dude, how many times are you going to restructure Patrick Mahomes' contract? How many more times can you get away with doing that? I don't think you can. I seriously don't know how many more times you can do it. Unless he, from the goodness of his heart, takes a big pay cut, has basically redos his entire deal. Tear up the old one and work together, get a new one. And listen, if you're Patrick Mahomes and you are frustrated with the struggles that led to your season-ending knee injury, you might need to seriously consider taking a massive pay cut and redoing your entire contract so the Chiefs can bring in better pass protection. I don't think you need that much help on defense. I know the defense is not playing as great as they were last year, and especially the year before. I still don't think defense is the issue. If the Chiefs offense could just play somewhat better than right now, and I know that's kind of over because Mahomes, a lot of guys are injured, but then you would have probably a defense that wouldn't be as tired so much. Today was Nagy's offense without a Hall of Fame QB. This was a perfect reflection of what Matt Nagy really brings to the table when he doesn't have Patrick Mahomes. A lot of people were joking online saying, oh, this is a great case for Mahomes to win MVP. Do you understand how much Mahomes has masked all of the issues on this football team? I mean, people love to complain about Mahomes. Some in Kansas City just don't want to give him the credit. A lot of people outside of Kansas City say he's only good because he has Andy Reid as his head coach. Well, Patrick Mahomes was not there. Andy Reid was. Tell me what happened with the final score. You really think Patrick Mahomes is only good because of Andy Reid? Okay. Where are those people right now? Do they have anything to say to back up that case? Sure as hell don't. Absolutely not. All right, I'll read a few more comments and get out of here. And by the way, we'll still take calls. We haven't had very many today. I get it. People are busy this time of year. A lot of other things going on. I think we have beat the game to death. So let me just weigh in a little bit on the Chiefs situation with their stadium relocation. In less than 24 hours, we are expecting massive news. And I know not everyone likes to hear this, but the big story that's out there, the state of Kansas has announced that they have a special announcement Monday afternoon. We are expecting the Chiefs to present something to the state of Kansas. And basically what this is basically what they want the stadium to look like. It's kind of like they've already submitted an RFP, which is a request for proposal. And now they're going to present it in front of the state legislators, the governor, the Senate state president. The Senate state president is going to review it, approve of it, bond it, and they will make the official announcement that the Chiefs are moving to the state of Kansas. Even Missouri politicians have been panicking with some of their statements and press conferences over the last 72 hours. Honestly, if you can read between the lines, they have thrown the white flag on this, or waved the white flag, rather. So if you guys wanted to touch on that, I know everyone here is kind of focusing on the game, but it does appear that the Chiefs are about to move. It does appear that Kansas has the ball at the 1 yard line, and they're about to push this into the end zone with ease. Greg says, do we re-sign Travis or hope he retires? Here's my thing. I don't think Travis Kelce's been the problem this year. Listen, the one catch he had today, that's not on him. Gardner Minshew was underthrowing passes his way. He only had one catch this entire game, and it was from Chris Oladokun. Like, I mean, what could you have gotten going with anybody on this team? I don't care if you had the greatest tight end of all time, which in my opinion is Travis Kelce. I mean, you were not going to get anything going. And unfortunately, Travis Kelce is not getting his 1,000 yards. I was hoping he would have gotten that for his sake. He's not getting that this year. He's not. But man, I don't know if Travis Kelce, like, what do you do with him? Because I think he's capable of playing one more year. But for what price? He's not playing for league minimum. That, I guess we can't completely dismiss that because he and his soon-to-be wife have a ton of money. Those two combined have a net worth of probably $10 trillion. So maybe if he really wants to finish it out here and nowhere else, sure. Now, if Travis Kelce wants to absolutely play football, whether it's here or elsewhere, he might have to look elsewhere. Because, again, I'm just looking at Kansas City's cap situation. I truly do not know how Kansas City is going to be able. They showed all those free agents at the end of the game for Kansas City. They've got a lot of guys on that team that are set to be free agents. The Chiefs only have 39 contracts for 2026. That's not a lot. That is not a lot at all. I mean, the Chiefs have some serious digging to do with their salary cap, what they're going to do with draft capital. There's a lot to figure out there. Yeah, Chiefs have not had a lot of takeaways in the last 2 years, even in the last 3 years. Even that year when they were really good in 2023, they didn't get a lot of takeaways. This just hasn't been a team that forces turnovers. They just don't. I do agree, Michael. Travis Kelce, not the problem. Yes, he had that back-breaking play where he let the ball go off his hands for a pick against the Eagles, but and he had another one against the Commanders that didn't really cost him. The one against the Texans, I've seen Kelce make that play. That was also a really difficult catch to make. Travis can't go out on this nut. I mean, I don't know, man. If the Chiefs don't find ways to improve, if they bring back Matt Nagy, which I doubt, but I just don't have any hope for this offense next year. I'm from KCMO. What difference does it make what side the stadium is on? Everything doesn't need to be KUMU. Thank you. Thank you. Like, why is everything Jayhawks versus Tigers? Wildcats fans are way out east or west, excuse me, and they're like, hey, what about us? We want to be part of this fight too. It just doesn't make sense when people do that kind of thing. Casey to the Legends, yeah. What about people saying Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, etc. would have won more Super Bowls than Mahomes? You know what's funny? When the Bengals, quote unquote, stole Orlando Brown from the Chiefs, I had a Bengals podcaster tell me that if Orlando Brown signed much sooner, then Joe Burrow would have more rings than Patrick Mahomes. Well, you've had Orlando Brown for 3 years, and they haven't even won a playoff game. I don't even think they've been to a playoff game. So, yeah. Hey, at least Joe Burrow had an amazing game today after shitting the bed the week before, or whichever game that was. Draft Love, keep Damian Pierce, release Pacheco, release Hunt. No, Pacheco and Hunt will already be available. Release Joe on that for sure. There's a lot there. Bring back Alex Smith till Mahomes is better. I think Alex Smith is very comfortable with where he is. Could you imagine if Mahomes had the weapons Burrow has? Yeah, I think he'd be great. Nick Wright was right on Friday. Yeah, he was. Nick Wright did say that we're about to find out how bad this Chiefs team is without Patrick Mahomes. You finally saw that. A lot of people keep saying that Mahomes is a product of Andy Reid's system. Well, I didn't see that today. Let's see. I'll read a couple more before we get back to the phone lines. Christian says this loss proves that Mahomes means much more to the Chiefs than most people think. Yeah, 100%. Can't afford to lose Travis Kelce or Chris Jones. I don't think you're losing Chris Jones. Travis Kelce, unless Veach really works his magic with the salary cap, I seriously would recommend just preparing for the possibility of being without Travis Kelce next year. Not because I think Travis Kelce has the ability to play one more year. Listen, he put in a lot of work in the offseason. I know that was very well documented by the media. And I think it showed on the field this year. I really do. But the salary cap's a real thing, man. And they talked about it on the broadcast today. For both teams, the Titans are going to have the most money available for this offseason, and the Chiefs right now are second worst going into the offseason. Who do we sign at QB? I don't know, man. Gene Paul, we went over the list. It's a lot of guys that I don't recognize. If I had to throw a shot at the dark, I say Taylor Heineke, excuse me. If Kelce leaves, bring back Tony G. Yeah, it's an option. See if you can take him away from Jeff Bezos and Amazon. All right, let's go to Joe. Joe is next year on the Chiefs Zone podcast. What's up, Joe?
Pardon, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, brother. Yeah, I'm just going to go back to what I said. I think I've been on a few weeks in a row with you. That week, we came back from a bye week, and we still had the same errors we've had every week. I think it now has to go down to coaching, doesn't it? I mean, there's no other way around it. I mean,
100%. Hey, let me just say this, Joe, because coming off that bye week, getting ready for that Denver game, the idea was the Chiefs have to play with a sense of urgency because not only did they need to win to keep the wild card race close, they also needed to win to keep the division race close. And ever since that sense of urgency, the Chiefs have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their last 6. They've lost 6 of their last 7. The Buffalo loss didn't seem that bad in the moment, but that's it up at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, you cut out a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's all of it's the same thing. Like the drop passes, like Rice had a little bit of drop passes his rookie year, but it was his rookie year, you know. I mean, but Kelce's had a couple. Even Mahomes. I'm not blaming anything on Mahomes. He's obviously like the lifeblood of our team, but like he even had a down year with his passing. Like, even though, I mean, no matter what you want to say, anybody that knows NFL knows how high paced of a game it is. And I think both passes he threw to Kelsey where they were tipped off of his hands, both of them were behind him. Like, they were not perfectly thrown balls. Like, should Kelsey have caught them? Yes, because Kelsey. But like, they weren't good balls, and he missed a lot of receivers this year. Not even like overthrow them. Doesn't even see them. Yes, and a lot of them games he had plenty of time. I just don't know if losing his quarterback coach he had, or I looked at your statistics, so you're right. I mean, like Matt Nagy's definitely got to be 80% of the issues. I mean, his stats the last 3 years compared to Bieniemy's is night and day. But then it's like everything's uncharacteristic of the Chiefs. Even Taub right now for the special teams coach, like how much, like this is the most kicks Bucker's ever missed. I mean, he was before this year, he was number 2 all time for accuracy behind Tucker. And then obviously Tucker missed like 7 PATs and field goals last year. So I think he passed him for a brief moment until this year. Even the defense right now, like, I mean, yeah, I'm with you with the time of possession today. But again, like before this game, though, all the times 3rd and 9, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 17, and they can't get off the field. Yeah. And I don't even know if that's a Spags problem. I just don't know. It just seems like we're in a twilight zone this year. Even like every aspect of the game, we have failed miserably.
Yeah, and I appreciate the call, Joe. You make some great points. Yeah, the defense has taken a step back. I still don't think the defense is as bad as it may look. I truly do believe, again, I mentioned time of possession, and I know you did as well. I truly do think that if the offense doesn't punt the football so damn much as we like Matt Araiza, I think the defense has less to deal with at that point. I really do. And yeah, listen, I know a lot of the pushback I get on my criticism of Matt Nagy is, a lot of the issues, Matt Nagy's not dropping passes. Matt Nagy's not overthrowing or underthrowing guys. I get that. But why has that been happening so much over these last 3 years? It didn't happen before the last 3 years. It didn't happen before 2023. It's happened a lot since 2023. Either overthrown passes or dropped passes. Like on repeat. Jawan Taylor committing 55 penalties in 3 years. I mean, he's not going to commit another penalty this year because he got placed on IR, but what coach allows anybody to commit 55 penalties in 3 years? Find me one. Just one. And it's not like he's getting called for holding every single play. It's illegal formation. It's not lining up correctly. Those are easy fixes. You pay me $27 million, I'll definitely line up correctly. Now, whatever happens after that might be terrible for me, but lining up correctly is not difficult to do. But this happens so much with the Chiefs. It's happened a lot with Matt Nagy. I don't think that's a coincidence. We need the breakaway speed, like Jamal Charles and Priest Holmes. And listen, there's no doubt Kareem Hunt's not fast like he once was. Isaiah Pacheco, who is still a young buck, that dude's speed disappeared. Rashard Smith has speed, but we haven't seen him showcase it. I don't think the Chiefs have given him the opportunity to showcase it. And by the way, something I want to mention, because, and I apologize, it wasn't Joe, the last caller. I'm sorry, I think it might have been Lou. Somebody was mentioning the play calling and the making things obvious and telegraphing. The first play of the game. What was the first play of the game? It was an end around to Xavier Worthy for no gain. Why are we still running that play? Why? Do you know how many times that has failed miserably? A bunch of times. Do you want to know why it's failed miserably? Because coaches have this thing called film. They study film. Other teams can see what you have been doing on the field because it's all documented with video. But the Chiefs just assume nobody else studies film, so they're going to run the same end-around plays over and over again. And what do you know? It fails. Every once in a while, he breaks through. But it's like, come on, man. Get creative. I know Andy Reid's got some creativity in there. It's frustrating to watch. It really is. Yeah, salary cap will get raised, but it's still going to, like, the Chiefs are still in a terrible spot. Chances of EB coming back are low. I agree, Life, just right. I think it's low, but boy, I'm hoping for it. I'm still hoping. I'm still holding out hope for that. A lot of you guys are saying Jeremiah Love. Yeah, that seems to me to be the most popular pick for Kansas City. And I'm not saying Jeremiah Love would be a bad option, but dude, I don't know, man. Like, I seriously want an improved offensive line. If there's a tackle you can get in the top 10, I would. Are the Chiefs in the top 10? I think they are. I really think they're in the top 10 right now. I mean, Cincinnati won, so you should be close to the top 10. I don't know. Let's see if there's an updated standings list. I know it won't mean much right now, but I still am curious to know. Okay, so the Chiefs are... The Titans no longer are in first place from the bottom because they beat the Chiefs today. Giants, Raiders, Browns, Titans, Jets. That's your top 5. Cardinals, Commanders, Saints. Bengals are... the Bengals are 9? I thought the Bengals had the same record as the Chiefs. 10, 11, 12. The Chiefs are still in the 12th spot. Yeah. I mean, listen, 12 is still better than 31 or 32, which is what the Chiefs have been dealing with for so long. But I don't know, man. I'm not a guy that likes to make a big deal out of draft placement. I think it's overrated. But I'm even at the point where I'm like, okay, I'll take all the help I can get. I think if we would have had a running back who could actually be a difference maker, I think the coaching staff knows we don't have a running back that can do that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they cut Elijah Mitchell yesterday. Titans came in like Thanos since Mahomes wasn't there and was like, I'm inevitable. I think the Thanos effect already took place. Someone just snapped their fingers and they're like, okay, let's take away effort, heart, and play calling from the Chiefs. That's what they did. Kansas City had the ball for 34 minutes and 25 minutes against the Chargers. Why did they lose? Can't figure it out. My biggest problem with Nagy is the inability to discipline the offense. Yeah, 1,000%. That's why the repeated mistakes you're seeing, whether it's Mahomes not under center, but whoever's the quarterback, Mahomes, Minshew, Oladokin, like, you're not getting anything going. You're seeing the same repeated mistakes over and over again. EB held players accountable. I agree, Dale. But, he hurt people's feelings and, you can't be mean to this soft generation. You know what the sad part is? I am part of this generation that is so soft. They can't be held accountable. You know what? Some of you guys don't know this. I used to be the stadium DJ for the Kansas City Royals, and working in media production for them, and I'm probably revealing more than I should, but I don't care. When I worked there, my first year I was bad, but they didn't tell me that. Not until like August, because they were like, okay, we're not going to use you because... So the guy I was filling in for, he was missing a bunch of games due to personal reasons. So they needed someone else to fill in, and they told me, they're like, hey, we kind of want you to be the guy. I'm like, sweet, cool. So I go there and I work there, and I did not do a good job my first year. In fact, when they brought back the old guy, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm fired, basically. They didn't even give me a heads up that they were not happy with my performance. But they ended up bringing me back, and I actually was much better. And they even had told me to my face. I'm like, oh, cool, thanks. But tell me that sooner. My point is this. Like, tell people what they need to work on. Hold them accountable. Because when I worked there, it wasn't just me. They were looking for a new pregame host. If you guys go to Kauffman Stadium early, they always play games like Family Feud, Price is Right. They do all these different like iterations of that, a Royals version of those things. And one of the backup hosts we had, because the other host was on maternity leave, she wasn't doing a good job. And I'm hearing in my headset because of the way our operations work, and upper management is complaining about this girl. And I remember one of the other managers said, yeah, well, she hasn't been told that. Well, no shit. I've worked there and I understand that. People love to complain about specific people in the workplace about how they're not performing well, but they won't tell them. If you tell them, they'll improve on that. That's the same thing with this Chiefs team here. They're not holding guys accountable. They're letting them get away with the same mistakes over and over again. Whatever you do for a living, if you're not doing it right, your boss has the right to approach you without being an asshole and saying, hey, look, you're not performing well, and we think you're certainly better than this. We need you to improve in these areas so that way we can have a better output. That's what any business should do. But in Kansas City with the Chiefs, you make a mistake, it's going to be on repeat. I'm sure they've addressed it with the team, but not well enough because it's happening over and over again. Stephanie says EB held players accountable for mistakes, and Nagy doesn't appear to. 1,000%. And there have been stories on this. That was like the Chiefs, the Colts interception at the goal line, Chiefs' first possession. We all exactly knew what was coming. Yeah. Somehow they won that game. Austin says we do not have the talent to get creative. Oh, I 100% disagree. I think the Chiefs have the talent. I truly do believe the horrendous play calling is holding this team back and not holding guys accountable drastically. Listen, I said this earlier, so if you guys miss it, and I see a lot more people coming into the chat, and by the way, if you guys want to tune in, or not tune in, excuse me, if you guys want to call in, please feel free to do so. I will post the link everywhere. I'll post it on Facebook, YouTube. Let me also post it on X. Because the hill I'm willing to die on is if you bring back Hollywood Brown and you already have Rashee Rice under contract, you have Xavier Worthy under contract. How do I comment on X? There it is. So for those of you on X, you should see a link right there to call in. Click on it, turn on your audio, your video, put in your name and call in. We've already had several callers today, so I appreciate those who have. A lot of people commenting as well. But if the Chiefs chose to bring back Hollywood Brown, Thornton, obviously you still have Rice and Worthy under contract. If Travis Kelce were to come back, and if Eric Bieniemy was your offensive coordinator, you're getting a good offense a great offense next year. That is the one hill I'm willing to die on. Now, was that all going to happen? I don't know. That's the most frustrating thing is I think this was a wasted year with the talent you have on this team. Do I think that since KC doesn't have Tommy Townsend to hold for Butker, field goals has affected the field goal kicking this year? No, because you had Ariza last year. And I know Butker had some misses last year. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's a Townsend thing. I really don't. I can't dismiss it completely. Obviously, Butker had the knee surgery 14 months ago. He just hasn't been the same since then. I know the Chiefs have been very defensive anytime that comes up, but I don't think he's been the same player since then. He just hasn't. Andy's play calling is stale and too predictable. He needs a whole new playbook. I think that's part of it. I think if Mahomes is just looking with better vision and guys aren't dropping passes, I think that'll fix a lot of things. Route running for sure. That could help as well. You got to have a Hall of Fame O-line across the board, and they would still look average without a run game. Michael says Andy could have any top-tier running back, and he would still throw the ball away too much. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know why Pierce didn't play today. There's no reason for him not to play. So I was having this conversation with someone on Twitter. It's like, DeAndre Hopkins, and I know DeAndre Hopkins is a future Hall of Famer, but he came in the middle of the season on a Thursday, and he still played against the Raiders the following day. He went on to score, I think, a touchdown the following week against the Bucs on Monday Night Football. And then, they brought in, who else did they bring in? They brought in Kelvin Benjamin several years back. He played right away. There's another offensive player I can't remember that they signed mid-season. It was a wide receiver. Oh, yeah, Kadarius Toney. They traded for Kadarius Toney, and they were impressed with him. They were impressed with how fast he picked up the offense. I remember at the time, I kept saying Kadarius Toney picked up the offense way faster than Josh Gordon. Remember Josh Gordon used to be the best wide receiver at one point in his career? Then he just disappeared for several years, ended up making a comeback, and the Chiefs were trying to make things work with him. They were extremely patient with Josh Gordon, but he couldn't ever pick up the offense. Kadarius Toney gets traded from the Giants, comes to Kansas City, and picks it up right away. So I've seen the Chiefs use guys mid-season after acquiring them. Why can't they do it with Dameon Pierce? They didn't do it with Tyquan Thornton last year. I think you could have used Tyquan Thornton last year. But no, you get Tyquan Thornton, you put him on your practice squad, and you leave him there all of last year. I think Tyquan Thornton is someone you could have used in some games last year. Listen, some of the decisions made on this team, evaluation, playing time, personnel decisions this year have been very suspect. And listen, I'm not one of those guys that likes to sit here and criticize big time on that kind of thing, because you got to, kind of stay in your lane. But at some point, you also have to call it out. It doesn't take being a former coach or a scout or a GM to recognize there have been some questionable decisions made by this football team across the board with personnel talent. Yeah, a lot of you guys keep saying Nagy doesn't hold anyone accountable. EB does. Yeah, a lot of those comments today. Andy, we just got to do a better read. Yeah, that's a good nickname for him. And he says, what the hell happened to tickling tonsils? The Chiefs are 0-3 since making that comment. Last week, it was some comment about Yahtzee, playing Yahtzee. The week before, or the couple of weeks before, was tickling tonsils. So I am eager to know what it's going to be this week. There's got to be like some Grinch reference that Andy's got to make this week. Who do I like in the draft? Dude, I have no idea. I don't even know where you start. I know everyone is saying Jeremiah Love, and I think Jeremiah Love is good. I like Jeremiah Love, but can he run well behind this line? Were Pacheco and Hunt just not that capable of getting big plays with this line? I don't know. Kareem Hunt had this big run against Jacksonville earlier in the year. I can't remember what his longest run was, and I'll look that up real quickly, but I do remember watching him thinking if he had speed, he would have gone for like a massive run. It was going to be a 90-some yard touchdown run. Against Jacksonville, he had a 33-yard run. That's his longest run of the season. Pacheco's longest run, I think, is 16. That is bad. That is really bad. I thought that mask behind me dropped, which has happened a few times. Had to make sure it wasn't the other mask either. Yeah, Pacheco's longest run of the season is 16 yards. That was also against Jacksonville. Maybe they should have ran the ball more against Jacksonville. I don't know. But yeah, you draft Jeremiah Love, fine. I'm going to be excited about it, but I'm also going to wonder, can you run behind that line? Look at Ashton Genty. That dude's a damn good running back. Have you seen the Raiders' offensive line? They can't block for shit. They cannot block for shit. More Nagy complaints from everyone. I saw Tyreek is trying to come back, and I say no. Yeah, I don't know. With his age, he honestly looked like he slowed down a lot last year. Quite a lot. If I were Thornton, I'd go to a team that would use me. I agree, John. Brian Dable as OC, I kind of still have scars from when he was OC in 2012, but he's changed a lot since then. I get it. Listen, him or I would rather Kafka, because Kafka already is familiar with Patrick Mahomes. He was the quarterback's coach when Eric Bieniemy was here. So I'd rather have him than Dable. I honestly would not be surprised if Dable went back to Buffalo. I'll read a few more comments and we'll get out of here. It appears that we have gone through all of our phone requests, call requests today. Josh Gordon couldn't stop smoking the reefer. Maybe Andy should go back like he used to pull some college plays and add them to his playbook like he used to. I made this comment several times over the last couple of years, but speaking of college, it's just I watch college football and I'm seeing these receivers make these plays down the field. It's like the throw, the reception. Even yesterday, do you see Caleb Williams? Remember when people made fun of Caleb Williams for wearing nail polish? And yesterday, he just threw a dart in overtime to win the game. Do you think anyone gives a damn that Caleb Williams wears nail polish? No. When you win, no one gives a shit about anything. Speaking of nice catches, boy, that was a hell of a catch by Isaac Tesla. I think is how you say it. And like, we're not seeing those kinds of plays in Kansas City. We're just not. I think the problem is Kansas City I mean, if that was a Chiefs player, they would have dropped it. Yeah, that's a tough play, but he extends his arm. He gets hit by both defenders, and he comes down with it. By Tesla. It's just, you go out there and you're so reliant on your receivers getting open, which is fine. But when you cannot even get that to happen, when you're overthrowing guys, when you're not even seeing the open guys, then what do you have for your offense? That's the crazy part with this Chiefs team. Did we not see Mahomes yell at the bench? What kind of plays are we calling here on a critical fourth down earlier? I don't recall that one, Tim. Which game was that? What are the chances Nagy stays? Probably very low because he's not under contract for next year. And I seriously cannot imagine that they would bring him back. You wrote Maggie's last season. I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. Well, Merry Christmas to you as well, Matthew in the UK, and to everybody else. If I don't talk to you guys again this week, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of you. If you're traveling, stay safe. If you're going to be with family, friends, have a damn good time. If you're working on the holidays, I have been there. It is not fun. Props to you people working on the holidays. If you're going to do anything Thursday night other than watch Chiefs football, good on you, because there are probably a lot of better things you can do than watch Chiefs football on your Christmas night. Why aren't these rookies playing? I have no idea. We've been every week. Okay. Natasha says Thornton needs to start. Well, right now Thornton's in the concussion protocol, but even before today, remember that Colts game? Tracy Wolfson put out a tweet saying, this is the game where I expect Tyquan Thornton to get more playing time, more snaps, more targets. We never saw that. Like, what is going on with this team that they're not even using their most effective wide receiver who's averaging 23 yards a catch? Thornton has 19 receptions. 11 of them are for big plays, which means 20 yards or more. How? 83 and 87 should ball out these last games. It's going to be very difficult to do when your quarterback is going to be either Chris Oladokun or Taylor Heineke. Dude, Chris Oladokun is going to start on Christmas. Oh, man. Ticket prices just plummeted at Arrowhead Stadium for this Thursday's game. Thank God this is the last home game. You know what the worst part is? I'm going to the Raiders game. I'm going to that game. Maction says, Farzine, you can be the offensive coordinator. I would be a shitty offensive coordinator. I would just do wildcat plays and do like all kinds of weird shit. There's a play in Madden where you can throw it to your tight end and have your tight end throw a forward pass. I've thrown a bunch of those touchdown passes with Travis. I would try that. I would just throw all those trick plays. I'd be like the worst offensive coordinator. Like, you're complaining about Nagy. Wait until you complain about me. Unless you have a death wish for your own football team. Yes, thank you guys. Merry Christmas to all of you. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Yeah, for those who missed it, we did get a report from Matt Derrick of Chiefs Digest. Gardner Minshew has suffered a torn ACL, obviously out for the season. It's been that kind of year. It has been that kind of year. You're going to Vegas also? Yeah, well, we can go be miserable together in Vegas. Farzine, you are going to the Raiders game as a Raiders fan. For the segment of draft placement, sure. That I can go with. That I can go with. All right, guys. I think we've covered enough here. Listen, we will do a podcast tomorrow. It will not be tomorrow night. We are going to wait on this Kansas news with the Chiefs. I know a lot of you guys have a lot of mixed feelings on that. I don't know what time we are going to do the podcast, but as soon as we have breaking news, we will go live tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be sometime in the afternoon. I just don't know exactly when, but we will go live at some point tomorrow and do a podcast. We'll do a podcast on Tuesday and Wednesday as well. A lot of conversations to have this week on the podcast. We will also do our pregame live chat 10 a.m. on Christmas. So if you're going to be up Christmas after you open presents, have your nice little Christmas breakfast, join us 10 a.m. for the pregame live chat. And then we'll also do our halftime and postgame shows as well. Hey, I greatly appreciate all of you guys. If you guys don't end up coming back this week for any of the live streams, I appreciate all of you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Be safe. Enjoy time with your friends, family, whatever it is you'll be doing. Merry Christmas once again to all of you. I'm Farzine Vousoughian, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Take care.